Someone asked, how do you deal with anxiety and imposter syndrome on the job search? Here are my 6 tips. So 4 of them are for anxiety. We'll go through those first. Stay to the end. 2 more tips dealing with imposter syndrome. So for anxiety, the first one is going to be the kind of like biggest one here, and then the others kind of follow from that. So these are in order. The first one is the snowball method. To set ourselves up for success, the strategic move is not to target a single company. Targeting a single company is a strategic failure mode. Instead, you want to create a list of many companies that you would like to work for, and that way, failing at any particular company does not impact your overall job search outcome. Once you have a list of companies, group them into tier 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to start with that group of tier 3. And in this case, it is the lowest cost failure mode, and you can actually net out a positive even by failing just because of the interview practice benefit. In addition, if you do get an offer in this tier 3 group, it will act as insurance later on in the interview process. You can use it as negotiating power, bargaining power, or if you fail later on, at least you have something. Tip 2 is go ahead and bomb. Now that you have your snowball framework in place and you're going for tier 3, go ahead and get some exposure. Utilize exposure therapy by failing in your tier 3 interviews. It's totally fine. You'll be a little less anxious with each attempt. Just make sure that you take away a learning from each attempt. So with the prior advice, we imagined that you have to interview now, but for some of us, you actually don't have to interview now. You have some time. And so another way to mitigate anxiety and stress is to reduce your interviews per week, basically lower the density, take some of that pressure off, and take more time to prepare ahead of time if you can. Taking extra time requires some financial runway, but if you have it, do make use of it. In addition, you can lower your anxiety by taking time to do things which are not interview prep, things like extra sleep, things like going to the gym and eating better. These are all luxuries, but they're very effective ways to reduce stress and anxiety. If you can take advantage of them, do so. If you cannot take advantage of them, go ahead and take a tier 3 offer and start building up savings for the next time around. Don't beat yourself up for the fact that you don't have these resources. Like, we all have different places that we're starting from, and there's nothing wrong with that. Fourth and final tip, cognitive reframing. So if you've done everything else by now and you're still getting the jitters, don't beat yourself up for getting the jitters. It's just like a physiological response to excitement at this point. And you can reframe it as positive excitement. And if you've done everything up till now and you've prepared, this should be totally easy to do because it should be true. Basically, cognitive reframing won't work if it's lying to yourself. But if you're telling yourself the truth, this is a really effective tool, which is, hey, there's only up from here that I can go. Like, there's only the potential to win by interviewing. You can't lose a job that you never have. Don't be entitled. Don't assume that you deserve the job. But instead, appreciate the opportunity to interview and get excited about the potential of receiving that, better job. Even if you fail, it will be a source of growth, the same way it was with those tier 3 interviews. There's no such thing as a permanent won't hire decision in tech. There's just, like in the worst case, a cool down. So take advantage of that. And again, in the worst case, it's preparing you for next year. Those are my tips for anxiety. 2 tips for imposter syndrome. 1 is build a portfolio. If you are feeling like a fake software engineer, then build something. And if you've built software, you are a software engineer. So just quit it after that. Besides building a portfolio, the other tip is to get certified. So if having some external validation is going to help you, go ahead and do that. There's lots of online certifications you can take, whether it's a course or it might just be a coding assessment. Definitely go ahead and do that. Free Code Camp has some of these. Don't spend a bunch of time here. The time wasted is a very big opportunity cost, but getting 1, 2, or 3 of these can be a worthwhile investment. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like. If I missed something, leave a comment. Hope you'll follow for more.